Welcome back to Top Notch Lectures. In the previous video, we have learnt about the basic concepts of cost accounting. This video will be the conclusion part of the basic concepts. Thereafter, we will see problems and solutions in the upcoming videos related to cost accounting. Let's go into the video. So far, we have seen about the advantages of cost accounting in various sectors. Now we will see the objections of cost accounting. Here there are few points has been given and I will explain you the same for each. The first objection of the cost accounting is expensive. Yes, most of the people raise the objection against cost accounting. That is, that also it involves a considerable amount of expenditure in the introduction stage. They argue that double set of account books has to be maintained and it is not economical for small concern. In the installation stage, it consumes a good amount of finance. Really, this is true as long as the benefits derived from this system and not commensurate with the investment made on it. But by carefully designing the system so as to suit the business, these criticisms can be nullified. The next point is, it is unnecessary. It is argued that costing is a recently originated subject and that many industries have prospered well and we are still prospering without cost accounting. Therefore, this system is unnecessary. This criticism is raised due to lack of understanding of the objectives and advantages of cost accounting where we have seen before. In the present day competitive world, every manufacturer must know the cost of production for each article so that he can fix a selling price on a reliable and reasonable basis. Further, he can also compare his selling price, thus fix it with the price prevailing in the market. Cost ascertainment involves application of certain principles and techniques. Having ascertained the cost, the techniques that are used to keep the cost are under check and thereby increase the profit. Thus, it can be said that the cost accounting is necessary in most of the concerns. The next point of objection is failure of costing system. It is claimed that costing system has failed to bring good or desired results in many cases. Therefore, it is defective. But this defect does not lie in the costing system. My argument is, for some other reasons, in such indifferent attitude of the management, lack of adequate facilities, non-cooperations or opposition from the employees, etc., these defects can be overcome by reversing the above trend. The next point is, which does not applicable to many industry. Here, some argue that modern methods of costing cannot be applied to certain types of industries prevails. There is no ready-made system of cost accounting applicable to all concerns, but the cost system in the modified form can be adopted to suit the special requirements of an industry. A modified costing system has to be devised to suit the concern and not the business to suit the system. The last point in the objection of cost accounting is it's not reliable. Another, that is, this point when it is put forth by some people that cost accounting is based on estimates and therefore cannot be relied upon. But in costing, it is not mere estimates. Estimate in costing is based on scientific techniques of reasoning and actual figures of the past. As such, it is quite near to reality. There are certain circumstances where the estimation is only the method, such as tenders, fixation of standard cost, etc. Standard cost is widely used in modern times. The next topic is installation of costing system. Here there are few factors which are to be considered before installing a costing system. The first point is history of the business unit. Actually, it implies the duration of its cost, existence, position in the industry, the rate of growth, policy and philosophy of management and like. The history of the business unit serves as the basis for designing the cost accounts in respect of necessity, simplicity and investment involved in it. Hence, it is an important factor to be considered while installing a cost accounting system. The next point is nature of the industry. So another factor which is to be considered in the nature of business such as manufacturing, mining, trading, etc. Similarly, the type of product manufactured is also to be considered, which also determines the method of costing that can be applied universally. Next thing is the objectives. The designer should consider what is the objective of costing system, whether to fix selling prices or control cost or both. The next point is organization structure, which is one of the important factors to be considered before installing a costing system. Here the organization structure should be studied to determine the manner in which costing system could be introduced without altering or extending the organization appreciably. The next point is product range. The range of products manufactured and sold also determines the method of costing to be selected. Therefore, range of products must be analyzed in terms of size, models, fashion, area of market and competitors, and whether the products are to be made to the customer specification or for stocking and selling. The next point is technical consideration. Here, this is another important factor that influences the installation of cost accounts, which includes size, layout of the factory, the existence of the production and service department, flow of production, capacity of machines, degree of mechanization, existence of laboratories, internal transport and material handling equipments, production control techniques and inspection, testing of materials and also the finished goods. The last part is method of maintenance of cost records. Here the method of maintenance of cost records should be determined. It should be decided whether to have an integral accounting system, that is one set of books for cost and financial transactions. Another factor which is to be considered before installing a costing system is method of maintaining of cost records. That is, it should be decided whether to have an integral accounting system, that is one set of books for cost and financial transactions, or non-integral system accounting system, that is separate set of books for cost and financial accounts. The next factor is field of cost control. Here, the area where the cost control is to be exercised is to be identified so that each manager may take action relevant to his activities. If material control occupies a significant area of control, it must be given topmost priority for exercising control over the materials. The next point is reporting. Report is yet another factor to be considered before installing a cost accounting system. This is because the cost accounting system to be installed and must ensure frequency and promptitude in reporting cost data to all the levels of the management. Further, duplication of reporting is to be avoided. Only that information which is relevant for the management in a particular context alone should be reported. The next point is uniformity. The practice of adopting uniform costing facilitates comparison among various firms belonging to the same industry. Further, it is also has the benefit of adopting common costing practice if a company has a number of subsidiaries. The last point to be considered before installing a cost accounting system is flexibility. The cost accounting system is to be installed, must be flexible in operation and must be capable of adaptation to changing conditions. The system must be periodically scrutinized so as to make necessary changes owing to development in business. So far we have seen about the factors which is to be considered before installing a costing system. And now we will see about what are the practical difficulties in installing a costing system. The first point is lack of support from the top management. That is, when the costing system is introduced at the behest of the managing director or the other director without the support of the other members of the top management team, other members may not support because they may view the system as an interference in their work. So, to overcome this difficulty, we have 3 points over here. That is, by creating a sense of cost consciousness in their mind. The next, by explaining the benefits of the system. And by taking them into confidence before installing the system. The next practical difficulty faces by installing a costing system is resistance from existing accounting staff. That is, the existing accounting staff may resist to the costing system because of fear of replacement or losing importance. So this difficulty can be overcome by these 2 points. That is, by explaining the costing system would not replace but strengthen the existing system, and by assuring that will create new opportunities for the staff. The next point of difficulty is non-cooperation at other levels. The supervisory staff and workers may not cooperate in providing required data because of feeling of additional paperwork involved. So these difficulties can be overcome by these 2 points, like by educating them about the benefits of the system and also by telling them what are the roles to play. The next part of difficulty is shortage of trained staff. That is, at the initial stages, it is difficult to introduce and operate the costing system because of shortage of trained staff. So, to overcome this difficulty, it can be imparted by training to the existing staff and also by recruiting additional trained staff. The last difficulty while installing a costing system is heavy cost. So here this difficulty can be overcome by avoiding unnecessary sophistication, formalities and records. The next basic concept is it's about cost budget. Cost budget, it means it's a technical term used for a product or service. At a broader level, it can be called as cost center, and at the narrow level, it can be called as cost unit. Here we will see about the cost unit. See, this is the definition given by the CMA, and this is the meaning of the cost unit where you can use for your exam point of view. And this is the table where the cost units adopted by different types of industry. So usually the cost unit means it is a device that is used for the purpose of splitting the total cost into a smaller subdivisions attributable to product or service. So this can be ascertained and this can be measured. So the main purpose of selecting a cost unit is to express cost per such unit. So these are the cost units adopted by different industries, and name of such industry, product and the cost unit has been given in this tabular column. The next and last concept of this video is cost center. A cost center, so this is the definition given by the CMA, and this you can use for your exam point of view, and I will just explain what is that. The cost center, it is a section of a factory for which costs are accumulated separately as cost are charged to cost units. The factory is divided into various sections in order to accumulate cost for subsequent distribution. Each such section of a factory is called cost center. So here it facilitates fixation of responsibility for every officer in charge of that section. That is why cost center is also called responsibility center. Hope you guys are clear with this video. In the next video, we will see about the material cost, the overview on the meaning of such material cost, and also the problems and solutions in the next video. Kindly subscribe and click down the bell icon for further notifications. Meet you on the next video.